Marco Mendoza, currently of Thin Lizzy.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the band Thin Lizzy, I've got Marco Mendoza on the line. How you doing, Marco?
Good. How are you, brother?
I am doing great. Hey, I got a chance to catch your set the other night. You guys sounded phenomenal. How has the tour been going thus far for you?
Thank you. I got to tell you, man, it's been a little hard, a little tough physically. We're covering a lot of miles, if you can tell.
Absolutely.
But anybody out there that understands what it is. But way back when we were looking at this routing and doing this run back in May when it was booked, we knew that it was going to be a tough one. But we set our goals out, and so far I think we have 6 or 7 shows left, and mission accomplished, because the buzz is out there.
Yeah.
All of us are doing a bunch of interviews. People want to know what's going on from the inside out, and I couldn't be happier, man. I'm really excited, to be honest. I've been, as you well know, or you might not know, but I've been here for a while, since like '94.
Yeah, you've been with the band for a long time.
For a long time, '94, and for whatever the reason, there was a couple of situations where I couldn't hang out. I felt, the band was losing direction and all that. Right now, it's got all the factors that it needs to move on to the next level, which would be touring and taking it to the people, man. Taking it to the generations that otherwise wouldn't be able to hear Thin Lizzy live,
Yeah, I know. I talked to Ricky when you guys first started doing a couple smaller shows on your own in the U.S., and I think you've got to imagine that getting out in front of the crowd that you're getting out of now is a great way to get the word out that the band is back. They sound phenomenal. This is more than just a nostalgia trip, quite frankly. It's great to hear you guys live. You as a musician, you're from, was it Southern California, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
You've got, am I right that you've got some kind of, some real passion for jazz playing? Is that kind of what got you into playing the bass?
Yeah, well, it was the other way around. I started playing bass. I started as a guitar player, and then, a better and bigger and better organized band needed a bass player, and there I was. I think I had about a week to learn to play the songs that they were playing and sing, and they needed somebody to sing as well, and because there was a lot of 3-4 part harmonies going on, and I got into that, but it was rock and roll. Later on, as I developed as a musician, and it became obviously that this is going to be my career, I wanted to learn more and challenge myself a little more, and obviously I went to the prog rock phase, and I wanted even more, and I have a passion for music, and I still do. I'm always doing something or another. When I have time off, I do my solo projects, whether they be jazz or funk or R&B or whatever it is. I just think music is so vast, and there's so much to learn constantly. I don't like to stay in one place. I like to challenge myself, keep challenging myself, No. So the jazz situation for a bass player was to push myself a little further,
Yeah, now I know on the road you guys have, you and JD from Black Label have had a chance to do at least one clinic that I'm aware of, and I had a chance to speak to JD the other night. Just a phenomenal bass player. Do you guys get to kind of talk shop? I mean, I know he's got a very vast musical education.
He does. He's a Berkeley guy. And a lot of people don't know this, he's a Berkeley guy. He has actually a lot more education, formal education, music education than I do. And he's such a nice cat, and I had no idea, man. We hooked up, and we know how to do music, which is very cool, both of us, and we just groove. We touched on a couple of things, and let's just go. We get up on stage and open the box, Pandora's box, and we go, man. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, and I think people realize that it's not anything that's rehearsed. We go and we're spontaneous, and that's where your expertise shows. and most of all, we know how to have fun, man. And I had no idea JD was a Berkeley guy. A lot of my colleagues are, you know, I didn't have. I grew up in Tijuana, Mexico, and in Mexico, there's no, you know, music programs. They're non-existent. You know, you have to really have the means financially and take the time out of your life to go to a conservatory, and there's very few. Now these days, I've been doing some clinics down there, and there's a lot of music schools and all that, which is very cool.
That's good to see.
But when I was growing up in 1929...
You look damn good for that old, I have to say.
No, when I was growing up, it was, for me, it was a school band that got me into music.
Yeah.
A marching band.
Sure.
That was existent, and we used to, you know, participate in parades and all that. And to my first instrument, believe it or not, was a bugle.
Okay.
You know, no valves. It was a lot of work to play a bugle, man. People don't understand how much work there is. It's all lip, you know.
Yeah, I imagine that's a really good instrument if you want to sound bad if you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly, and you know we're doing parades, man, and I was like 9 or 10 or something like that, and so we're marching in front of thousands of people, man, and so I learned the process of grabbing an instrument, spending a lot of time. The discipline that it takes, investing the time to get better and getting my mouthpiece together, and so I understood what was involved, and that's how I got into it. You know, it was challenging. It was really challenging to get better at it, and from then I moved to the guitar, and the bass was a natural process for me. When I found the bass and it found me.
Yeah.
We just fell in love. It was just cool, you know.
Was there anybody that, I mean, even outside of the world of bass and rock, that you kind of set your sights on as far as an inspiration, or anybody that really stuck out to you musically?
So many, and in all honesty, I got to say, you know, Paul McCartney and the Beatles. Our first album was Abbey Road, you know, and living in Mexico, we used to get things after the fact.
Sure.
So I don't remember what year, but my pops got Abbey Road for us for Christmas, and by then we already had my grandmother in the house as a piano teacher, and a guitar laying around that my brother got, because he was the oldest son, so he got everything. I got the hand-me-down. But, and along with the guitar came a Mel Bay book of chords, and the cool thing about the guitar was that I could sneak out and be alone somewhere, you know, in the closet of my room when nobody was around, and not be embarrassed, and take the time to learn. With the piano was smack in the living room, so you had to, it was really hard when you had an audience, you know. And so that was kind of paralyzing to me, so I took the time to do the guitar. For me, was a natural situation, and I learned that there was only basically, you know, 7 chords and variations thereof, flats and sharps, and then I started learning, you know, the simpler songs. And it's like, it became a lot of fun. That's the point. It became a lot of fun, and I started spending a lot of time with the guitar and the records.
Sure. Well, when I look at your discography, I guess the question that's kind of foremost in my mind is what do you bring to the table as far as versatility that allows you to work with so many different artists? I mean, you've been, obviously you mentioned Thin Lizzy, you've played with John Sykes and Blue Murder, Whitesnake, Nugent, you know, it's a very, very long list of musicians and a lot of different styles, you know, you're not...
Yes.
How is it that you kind of, you know, you're somewhat of a chameleon in that regard? You know,
I am, and that comes up a lot, and I've kind of accepted the hat, you know, and I'm surprised that I'm where I'm at, but at the same time, when I go back, I'm not, because coming back from the home that I came from, the first music that I remember listening to was big band music. My father was a clarinet player, and so Benny Goodman was on the turntable, and Glenn Miller was on the turntable, and all the big bands, you know, Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich, et cetera, that era of music, because my dad was a